Also, it's completely side topic here. I see you, Doey. You should use that arsenal on this run though. You're not slick.
Ancient Crip.
Uh,
Ancient Crip.
Wow. You're literally doing it again?
What you talking about? I don't know what you're talking
you
about.
can see Ren in Steam. He's playing Loop Hero right now. That's why he's gone completely quiet.
This man doesn't want to pause.
He's got the
bro.
cat on his shoulder.
I,
Wow, even such a heavy topic.
Either way, back to the situation. I don't know if the cop, like you said, I think it's going to get dismissed in court, unfortunately. Like, the cops just, they're going to ride that gun, like being thrown, that kid had it, and that's going to be the sad part in it. He should have waited. I mean, and in the video, both his hands, like, as this hand was definitely up, he threw this hand and was bringing it up like this. So, and that motion of him turning around, he's already releasing the gun and he's putting his hands up. He could have waited at least another second.
I swear that the video I saw, he already had both hands up before he turned around.
No, like the video that I saw, maybe there's another one I got to watch, but
dude, he's shot with his hands like this.
Yeah,
he's like this when he gets shot
of his body, the chest.
Yeah,
he got shot in the front of his chest, so he was all the way turned around.
The editing one that I saw from the news report lady or whatever, the anchor lady, that I need to watch another one. I would like to watch the actual body cam, like without edits. Then that would really. But yeah, I think he shot a little early. He shot a little early.
So I watched season 1 of True Detective. I rewatched it recently, and it reminds me of this. There's this Rust Cole quote. You guys ever see True Detective? Got Matthew McConaughey doing some of his best work of all time.
I think season 1 of True Detective is hands down the best TV you'll find anywhere.
100%, dude. That show is amazing.
Those eight episodes are they're just perfect. Like I don't know what you'd cut. I don't know, man. It's just good. It's so good.
Okay. So you remember that woman telling Rust that you seem like you're a dangerous man, and his response is, "Well, of course I'm dangerous. I'm the police. I can do terrible things to people with impunity."
Yeah,
that's definitely what it seems like nowadays. Like they're right, everyone else is wrong, even though they're working for the people. Like,
yeah, I mean, and there's to me there's a multitude of issues. I do think that there have been studies that have shown that there is a lot of white supremacists that have infiltrated the cops. There's a lot of people that have like some out there alt-right QAnon leanings, and you would think that there would be some kind of like mental exam that would kind of weed out those people, but I guess not. This is a training thing. Obviously, our cops need to be better trained. They need to have better de-escalation tactics. I do like the idea of defunding the police and having like mental health experts respond to some of these things instead of cops. Like, I mean, does a cop need to respond to a mentally ill homeless guy that's having some kind of episode? Not necessarily. Like, there are people that are better trained at de-escalation that could be responding to things like that.
Well, cops are always going to be at any situation, at any scene. Like, even if you call the fire department, there's going to be a cop. Like,
I mean, you're right, and you're stating the current situation, right? Mm-hmm. Because you're not envisioning what a different world could look like.
Yeah, like those things need to change. There needs to be more training. I don't know. I like some of the sentiment behind like the abolish the police movement. I don't know what that world would look like. Defunding, I can picture a little bit, because I can picture like, okay, yeah, there are definitely non-life threatening situations that instead of a cop, there's other people that would so much better fit the need to have those people go out to specific situations. Abolish the police is like, I don't know, it's a little too out there. Like it's like I think I've ranted about this to you before, Pucho. Like some anarchist people that I know, their whole solution to problems is just to tear down the system completely, but they have no plan for what happens after you tear it down.
I don't know,
and that's fucking frightening.
Yeah, I got into a Twitter conversation with somebody about this exact thing, because they were talking about abolish the police. Right. First off, I do want to say before we get into this whole thing, why are conservatives so good on their messaging? They're so good, and we are so shit. We suck so fucking bad at making defund the police is something that in general I agree with based off of most of the things I read. What a horrible fucking slogan. It literally means to increase the police budgets because we need to hire more people to deal with different types of situations. And in a lot of these situations, we're still going to dispatch a police officer to be alongside these social, these health workers, these social workers, people that are educated in like psychiatry and things like that. Like, why would we say defund the police if we're literally saying, yo, let's increase police budget so that they could react to different types of issues more appropriately?
Well, because
it feels silly, and all you're doing is you're inviting the argument from other people. Oh, they want to defund the police. Well, we're just gonna leave rapists on the loose. Like, I could tear this down in a heartbeat, like with a bunch of straw man. That it's just like, why do you want to make our fight so difficult? Like, now we need to fight for the efficacy of our plan, but also just we need to defend the slogan now. And it's like, I don't know, man. It seems, I don't know. It's upsetting to me that the people that are the liberal people, man, we're just horrible at messaging, and we're not united at all. Mm-hmm. Because some people want to defund the police, some people want to abolish the police, some people like the police. They just think like that there should just be more accountability when they do things wrong. So now you got all these trains of thoughts. No one could agree on anything. It's just upsetting to me to be on the side of people that can't get shit done. When you got all these fucking conservative people, they don't agree on shit. They're willing to form a coalition to get anything done. It's so upsetting to me.
It's that whole chopping off your nose to spite your face thing.
Right.
Or as Michael Scott would say, chop off your nose, spider face.
Spider face.
Also, it's completely side topic here. I see you, Doey. You should use that arsenal on this run, though. You're not slick.
Ancient Crip. Ancient Crip.
Wow. You're literally doing it again?
What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about.
You can see Red in Steam. He's playing Loop Hero right now. That's why he's gone completely quiet.
This man doesn't want to pause.
He's got the cat on his shoulder. Wow, even such a heavy topic. How's the loop going? What loop are you on?
No, I just started. I let it play in the background, and then like every loop, I'll like equip the armor, put down all the places.
You know what? Might as well just grab my PS5 controller and start playing Call of Duty.
Let me get my Switch going.
The fuck? What are we doing?
I'm the only person committed to this, okay?
No, I'm here to listen.
You see my hands. The only thing stopping me is alcohol, all right, baby? It's the only thing going
you was
over
on your
here,
phone
right?
earlier. You was on the phone. Picked up the phone.
I was on my phone. Run it back. I looked for 15 seconds. I got a text message.
Did it like 3 times, but we ain't here to call people out.
I got 3 text messages.
I think some of the cop stuff is like very antagonistic too, by the way. Like that thing, the flashing light on the gun. Man, could you imagine having that thing like flashed at you while you're expected to like react coolly and like follow a policeman's like instructions?
My reaction would put my hands up and be like, yo, what the fuck?
And here's a light like flashing at your face. Like, yeah, but a lot of times
I think that's so naive.
A lot of times,
Tony, who do you know that's as analytical about everything than me? Like, I'm not saying that I'm the most whatever person, but you guys be calling me technical pooch and all this because I want to think about everything. And I made a foolish decision, right? I'll clearly say that the decision I made was foolish, but I would also argue that it was barely a decision. It was such a reaction to what
That's
I saw.
what I'm saying. What he just said, that would be my fucking reaction. You're blinding me with a light.
No. You're saying I'm saying that you're being naive to say that you would know what your reaction is. That's my point. Because I would tell you that I would do whatever. I would say I'll do this or do that, and then struck in the moment, I didn't do what I would. If I saw a cop with his hand on his gun, what I would tell you right now is I'd put my hands up and I'll comply. But in that moment, I closed my door and locked the door in his face.
I'm saying I've had that light shot in my eye. Like, my cousin's a cop, obviously. So he showed, you want to see how bright this? Yeah. So that flashlight, I was like, yo, what the fuck? So like he blinded me. So I was like, yo, what the fuck? That shit's bright as fuck. He was like,
So-
yeah, this is a new light that we got. And that was my initial reaction. He was just showing me the light. It wasn't on the gun. He just
So-
had the light in his hand.
So
Like,
two points to that. Oftentimes, the cops' instructions are way more complicated than turn around and show me your hands. They're often like, turn around, show me your hands, get face down on the ground, put your arms behind your back, spread your arms out. Like there's
not all the time, but that does happen.
especially when there's a weapon involved. It's going to be some crazy instructions like that, and sometimes it's
that one instance in that hotel where that guy
was
was on the
horrible.
floor laying down and he was getting all sorts of conflicting fucking
Yeah,
yo,
that was
fuck
terrible,
cop,
bro.
Shit,
That's
funny.
No, I laugh because of all the fucking things that he was saying. Like it's
That
so
man was
it's
shot dead.
that man.
that's
that man
it's a
was
good
wild.
example of how what these fucking cops want you to do is fucking like, come on, bro.
Like,
Like
Eric was nervous himself. That's why he was just babbling bullshit.
The cop shouldn't be nervous, though. Is my point.
No, that's a fact. But I mean, at the same time, he is human, right? Cops
No,
can get
fuck that.
nervous.
That cop,
No,
if that
no,
cop
fuck
was
that.
nervous,
What do you mean,
that guy,
fuck that? You
guy's
guys
a
are
fucking
bugged out.
wimp.
The
No,
man-
fuck.
No,
fuck
that,
that.
in that video, the guy
No.
was crawling for like a mile from one end of the
No,
hotel to the
I
other
understand.
hotel.
I'm
He was
that cop
crawling.
in particular.
I need you to crawl, but you got to put your hands behind your back. But lay down flat. But keep coming towards. What the fuck is the guy supposed to do?
I'm just saying.
I'm sorry. If you do want to be a cop, if you want to have a job where you can legally kill someone as part of your job, you should be top of the fucking game. You should be the absolute best trained that you can.
Be super fucking man. Come on, you guys are being unrealistic here, man. Like you sign up for the job, you need to do the job. You need to prepare
Do you
for all
think
type of
everybody could be a
activities,
cop?
right?
If
Everybody
you sign up,
can't be a fucking
if you
cop.
if you sign up for the
So you're making our argument.
if
No,
you
I'm
sign,
just
if you
saying
sign
that-
up for the job, you better be willing to get shot to not take someone's life innocently. That's my take on
Granted,
cop.
that's reasonable to a point. Yes, I'm saying that cop in that fucking situation. I don't know what the fuck his problem was. He was giving out too many fucking directions. I would have just fucking not even moved. I would have just laid on the ground. Not even. You're giving me too many fucking directions. Get down, lay down, hands behind your back, crawl to me. How the fuck you want me to do that? I'm not Caterpillar, bitch. I can't fucking do the worm to you. Like this is just that cop was for me not trained enough and was nervous and was just rambling a bunch of shit. Yes, training needs to happen, but you got to understand, just because you're a cop, you're not a Superman. They also are going to have faults. They're not going to, getting shot at, whether you're a cop or not, my nigga, that's adrenaline pumping through your fucking.
Our system should weed out as much of that as possible, though.
No, yeah, that's why there needs to be a training system where that they're not capable, then you can't be a cop.
Also, police unions are problematic. Internal affairs programs that are like run by the cops themselves, like the cops investigate themselves, problematic as fuck.
Yeah,
I agree.
Could you imagine if you messed up at your job and they were like, okay, well, go ahead and investigate and see if like there's anything you did wrong that you could have done better, and that was like the official report that goes up to the company. It's just you investigating yourself.
yeah. I don't know, man. That shit's fucked. I honestly feel like every single, and I actually, there's a district attorney in my town that they're trying to push civil. Basically, anytime there's a situation with police officers, that there's gonna be like basically like a group of jurors that'll be the ones to make the decision whether this thing should go to like a trial or not, as opposed to just it being handled internal. That it should be handled by a group of citizens, pretty much.
Gotcha.
And I think that's just like a straight up. I mean, I guess I would argue that I think it's a straight up improvement on the system, but I don't know. Maybe after that, you find that every single cop gets executed, and then you're like, "Well, this is fucked." But I mean, my gut reaction is like, if you let the people that live in the area handle it, then you'll end up having more reasonable situations. But I don't know. Anyways, Tony, the only thing I was pushing back on is you're saying, yeah, that cop was nervous too, and I think that's the main sticking point for me, is that this cop deals with nervous situations every single day. Like they have to pull people over, anybody could have a gun at any time when you pull someone over, but they deal with that situation, and they deal with situations similar to that every single day. So I'm not saying that they should be okay with being shot at. I'm not even in Mateo's camp. I personally feel like, as a person, my number one job, I got a kid, I'm coming home to my kid every single day. So if I was in that person's shoes, I'm not in the position where I'm saying something like, oh, you should be shot to preserve the life of an innocent person. I think if an innocent person is doing things that a person committing a crime would do, like, you're telling me, take your put your hands in the air, and they're reaching into their waistband. I'm like, oh shit, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, all right, you might get shot. Like, whether that's a good thing or not, you could argue that. If you had health workers or social workers or psychiatrists and things like that on hand, would that go better? That's an argument that I'll probably, I'm probably on the side where I would want those types of things. But I'm not going to sit there and be potentially shot. Like, I'm not going to sit there and watch a guy reach into their waistband and try to pull something out before
you're going to shoot.
I mean, and I'm not a cop either. So maybe I'm not built for that, right? So, and then maybe that's to maybe Mateo's point, is I'd get weeded out of those programs, right?
So then would so you're saying that you would agree with the cop shooting that Adam kid in Chicago then? Based off what you're saying right now,
absolutely not. Because the guy had his hands in the air.
He was complying.
He had his hands completely in the air, turning around, and he got shot in the chest with his hands completely up. I think that's just straight up fucked up. I'm saying, because to me, while he's running away, there's a whole slew of arguments that I would never agree with. I don't think you should shoot somebody in the back.
I would wonder how much that flashing strobe light flashlight thing, how much that fucks up the cop's abilities to properly like view the situation as well too. Like, does that pump up their adrenaline as well? Like, having that light flashing on someone, does it make it harder to like see what they're doing with their hands or what they have in their hands? It feels weirdly antagonistic to me. Like, it feels like it ups the danger of the situation.
Getting out of your car like that. Getting out of your cruiser with your gun in your hand, running down the alley after somebody, you're already pumped. That blood is flowing. Then you put the light on somebody to blind them so they could like not be able to. Even if you were to shoot, turn around and try to shoot, they'll be blinded by the light that they won't be able to aim. So that's an edge on the cop that he has on the suspect, right? Like, all right, he's blinded by this light for a little bit because it's, when you look in the light, y'all get blinded by a little bit. You got to blink a couple times. So these are these protective things that they probably do to give them an advantage on the suspect, right? Now, when it comes to like making that judgment call to shoot somebody, I think he was premature with it. I do think that. At the same time, it's just rough because it's what you can prove in the court system, right? That's how the system works.
That's another thing.
They proved that. What? They proved that he has a gun.
I'm saying like, you got to remove yourself from that view. Because
that's
what you're
the view
saying
that's going on right now, though. You can't remove something that's what's going to happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no. Nobody's asking what do you think the court case is going to go like. That's not anybody's question. I prefaced my whole point by saying I think the cop's going to get off. Does that mean that I think what he did was right?
No.
Like, no. You should say whether you think he's right or wrong, so that when the court case comes out and he comes out saying that he's completely absolved of doing anything, then you get to say, our court system is fucked in some capacity. How do we address that? Like, you got to reconcile the fact that you believe one thing and you got an opposite outcome. If you don't entertain that, then things won't get better.
Yeah, because like with stuff like that, then you have to ask which court case is the one that matters. The actual, like the legal liability one where the cop ends up getting off, or the civil lawsuit that the family files against the city later on where they get paid out, because it's conflicting results from those two. The cop got off, but the city's still paying millions of dollars because that civil case decided that the shooting wasn't justified. Granted, I think there's less burden of proof in civil cases. I'm not positive. I think one of them has less burden of proof or something.
Yeah, I mean, depending on the charge, the burden of proof is different. Like those civil cases aren't felonies against anybody. So I would say that there's something weird about that. I don't disagree, but I don't think it's necessarily wrong. Like, it's easy to say that oh, did that person do that thing intentionally? Should they get first degree murder? It's like, nah. But we could acknowledge that something incorrect occurred. And maybe that guy should lose his job. And maybe that's, where that ends, right? Like maybe the city pays out, they fire the guy, but maybe that guy doesn't go to jail, right? And maybe in certain situations, maybe they do deserve to go to jail. Right?
And that's where that's where there's some further issues with the police organization as a whole, because
100%.
These cops will get fired for some shady shit from one police department, and they'll just go to another fucking state or another city, and they'll get hired on there.
I guess the question though is, should the court that's trying that person for, like, usually it's like second degree murder, because second and third degree pretty much blend. Like if you could prove third, you could prove second in most cases. So basically you're saying, in the, like, when people are on trial for like a cop specifically on trial for like a second degree murder because they killed somebody unjustly, right? That's the question. Should the people, both the judge, even the district attorney, like whoever's trying to get this person in jail, and the jurors, should they factor in the fact that this guy's, even though he gets fired, he's gonna be able to get another job? Or are those two separate issues, I guess?
There might be two separate issues.
Right.
Because I mean,
that's how I view it. I'm mostly asking Mateo because I think we generally agree on most of this. Like, I think it's fucked up that person A gets fired from one place, he easily gets a job doing the same thing. It also feels weird that, like, if I got fired at a supermarket, it's like I could probably get hired at another supermarket, right? And I'm not saying that it's comparable because you're not handling people's lives in your hands, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, if you got fired from one supermarket for accidentally giving a certain amount of people salmonella or something because you were Publix or something.
Probably a more comparable thing is probably like a surgeon who botched a surgery and killed somebody. How easily should it be for them to just get another job at another hospital, right?
And
that's probably the more comparable.
And that's where it would depend on. I mean, like, the whole thing comes down to proving intent. The whole thing comes down to proving intent, proving negligence.
Yeah.
Here's a whole thing that we could get into that I don't think we should. My wife is wilding right now. Mama, a little lower, please. Sorry.
So I do think
so you could tell her to chill.
I just said a little lower, please. A whole other thing that you could get into is intent. Does intent really matter?
I think it does.
Well, intent does, because that's how you determine whether something is, like, what degree of murder or manslaughter or whatever, right? Like, from a strictly legal, like, point of view, like, that's
right. I don't know. I'm typically not super interested in, like, legalities, like, because we could change the law. So if someone argues on the law today, and then someone arguing like, oh, slavery's right because it's legal, and then when slavery becomes illegal, then their argument is wrong now, because it's like, nah, it's like it probably was always wrong. Like, that's sort of what I'm saying. Like, so Tony, you said intent matters. I feel like this is a rabbit hole, so I don't want to get into this, but it feels like the conversation of intent, because it's like, does it, like, if someone killed your kid, does it matter if they meant to or not? Or should there be some repercussions for those actions? Like, it's such a hard question for me to grapple with. Like,
there would be repercussions. We talked about this, like, in one of the last episodes. Tony would grab that baseball bat.
He'd call me and we'd both be going for revenge. It'd be horrible. Two law-abiding people breaking the law because we're so hurt. That's why we need...
It's like that movie.
You ever seen that movie? Workers on site.
You ever seen that movie with what was it, Russell Crowe, law-abiding
Gerald
citizen?
Butler? Yeah.
The what?
Joe Butler.
Oh,
Joe
okay.
Butler.
How did you know what movie
Gerald Butler? Gerald Butler?
Okay. I said okay. It was just...
But he was in well, I don't know, man. I don't feel like your affirmation was strong enough.
Isn't his name
I think
Gerard
you were thrown
Butler?
up because I knew it before you said it.
Yeah, a little bit.
Isn't it Gerard?
That's what I said first, but Tony was so thrown back that I pronounced the L. Isn't there an L in there? Maybe I
don't think there's an L in there. I think his name is Gerard Butler.
That shit was just quick. It's quick.
Anyhow,
so what about this movie?
Jamie Foxx is in the wrong in that movie, is all I gotta say.
Yeah, it was a movie, same thing. Killers got off from killing this dude's family pretty much, and he just took it in his own hands and started killing the guys and the people in office, or not office, but
There's a better movie.
A better one than that one?
Oh yeah, that movie was not very good. There's a movie with Jackie Chan. I can't even remember what it's called, but it came out within like the last 4 years or so.
Yeah.
Very similar plot. Like his family gets killed somehow, and the cops don't do their due diligence, and this guy just pretty much turns into a terrorist. He's like, "Fuck the cops! Like I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I gotta do," and it's a way more interesting movie, in my opinion.
There's a lot of really good South Korean revenge films. There's a shitload of good ones.
I'm pretty sure this is Chinese, but
I saw The Devil. I think that's one of the South Korean like.
Oh
revenge films.
Yeah. That one's good.
That one is rough.
I don't think I've seen that one.
That one, like the movie ends, and you're just like, man, there was no one won in this movie.
Well, and
basically, some guy who's a piece of shit does a crime, and he gets tried, and I feel like
he kills his fiance. He kills and rapes his fiance or something, I think, right at the beginning of the movie.
And he gets off on the crime, and then the cop goes and does a whole bunch of shit to this guy, but then he doesn't go all the way. He doesn't kill him. And then the guy goes, and I think he almost kills, or he kills somebody else, and then the cop comes back. He's like, I'm going to kill you this time. And at the end...
He just decides to make his life hell. He basically puts this tracker in him, and then like every time this dude's about to like kill and rape another woman or whatever, the cop just shows up and just beats the shit out of him. And he does this like 3 or 4 times in the movie. Like because he's got this.
Yeah, dude, these Korean movies are fucking awesome, and I'm kind of saddened because I asked everybody to watch Old Boy, and I get the vibes that nobody watched Old Boy.
I've seen.
I have not watched Old Boy yet.
Sorry, I know you watch Old Boy. That was already the case, so we discussed.
Man. Y'all got to see
feels
that.
Like I have no friends.
Y'all got to see that hallway hammer scene, dude.
Hallway hammer.
Damn, that's spoilers. In lighter note, do you actually hold on before I go to that? Doughboy. So you agree with the cop thing, right? Being bad, right? Like he was in the wrong.
For sure, he was. It was wrong. Like
I don't even want to cut off Tony's line of questioning, but I will. I actually want to. What I really mean to say is I'm not trying to be rude. In your earlier answer, it sounded like it was kind of gray. Like you're like, I don't want to say he's wrong, but I don't want to say he made a reasonable decision. So I wasn't sure what you thought in that. But
that's for you, Doughboy?
Yeah. No, that was at Doughboy.
No.
Because right now you're saying he was wrong, but earlier it felt like what you were saying was like, I don't know, like. You're kind of juggling, like.
I feel like the fact that the kid turned all the way around. I don't know if it's the cop's strobe light. I don't know what it is that went through that cop's brain. I think he was wrong at the end of the day. I think it was fucking really sad, and I think that's why I said there was like a oh shit moment. I think even the cop realized he fucked up. Like. So it's super fucking unfortunate. I just don't think that their job is as easy as everybody tries to make it out to be. Like, especially in those situations when you have a person with a gun and you don't know what their intention is with the gun. And I just think that these little small intricacies like are big. It doesn't make it right. It doesn't make it right at the end of the day. And like a 13-year-old kid, apparently didn't I hear something about this kid was with somebody else? And it's more than likely that this older person handed him the gun to run away with it. Yep. And it's just like the whole situation is so fucking shitty. I just wish that there was a different way to go about these things, man. It's really fucked. Maybe there should be some sort of new weaponry that's non-lethal. You know what I mean? That cops can have instead of a gun, and then maybe their whole motto should be non-lethal takedowns. You know what I mean?
Like what?
I don't know, man.
That's what he said. New technology. There's a whole group of people that say there's no such thing as a non-lethal weapon. It's really lethal and less lethal is what they would argue.
Because at that point, you're putting the cop's life in danger more now, right? Let's say you give him, let's say you give him a gun that's non-lethal, but everybody else that he's chasing or fighting against have lethal guns. Now,
I'm saying, let's say We all know where you're going.
We're talking future tech hypothetically.
Yeah,
like,
let's say there was a gun, right? The gun of God, where you aim and shoot at a person, and they're perfectly incapacitated every single time. It's the same aim as a real gun, except in this gun, if you hit, they just go and they'll fall on the ground, and their hands are already cuffed. Like, wouldn't that be a better outcomes? Like every single time.
You talk about some fucking paralyzing
I'm
darts.
asking
or
you
some
to
shit.
indulge my hypothetical. Like, is there such a weaponry that you could imagine that could be better than just shooting people like with a gun?
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
Okay,
Trank
that's what
darts
Doe's
or
saying. He
some
said, "I
type of
wish
shit,
we could
but-
invent a new technology." That's what he said.
But it'll be
So
hard
you're
too,
asking
though.
him if he's fucking Thomas Edison or Benjamin Franklin, like he's gonna come up with the invention like that. That's a whole.
I
other
was
thing.
just saying, like it's like giving a cop less lethal things or lethal weapons versus people who don't give a fuck and we're gonna still rock these guns. Like it's just rough because like what now you're giving the cop the right to just shoot first and ask questions later. Now at this point, right? Like
I'm
if
happy
he's-
with that. If it means less people die, that's
if-
like a trade off that like maybe
Yeah.
I shouldn't say I'm happy with it, but like maybe that's a trade off that we should indulge. It's
Maybe
maybe we should tase people more often.
maybe it's
That'll
like
be super fucked up.
a rope gun that like wraps around the person, but also gives them a little bit of a shock.
Damn,
Can't
an
move
electric
around.
rope. That's like a
You know what I
Batman.
mean?
gun.
Like,
man's on the Wonder
something-
Woman shit.
I don't
I'm just
know.
saying, man. Batman deals a lot of people, and he don't kill. All right?
Nobody. He
well,
just
sometimes he
beats up.
kills.
Nah. Who is Batman kill?
Ben Affleck, Batman, didn't he kill somebody? Didn't
I think he killed like those elves or
he,
whatever.
he
from
used
that.
he used some machine guns on his car, dude. Like he used some.
It was aggressive. Yeah, no. Ben Affleck didn't give a fuck.
Didn't
I think
Frank-
he was a jaded Batman. Like I think he's been fighting Gotham crime for 20 years. Crime's just climbing. Nothing's working. He's fed up with this.
Didn't Frank Miller's Batman kill people too? Those mutant people or whatever from the sewer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
People.
Batman's killed a few
I
times.
knew
What
it,
about
so.
what about the killing joke? Like it's hinted at that Batman might have strangled Joker at the end of that comic.
Joker fucking deserves it. If I'd be pissed off at this nigga too, man. If he
Especially in Killing Joke, man. Killing Joke is rough.
Yeah.
And-
He turns Gordon bad.
Yeah.
It was like Gordon's like the paragon of good. So.
Well, in lighter news,
Well, hold on, wait, Tony.
what?
I kind of cut off your line of questioning. What you were asking Doey? Oh, so you think this is wrong? I don't know where you're gonna go with that.
Unless
No,
it's
yeah, I
gone
lost
through
it.
your head completely.
Yeah. Thanks.
I'm a piece of shit. I ruined the podcast, and there's an alternate universe where we have
Not be
now
rude and cut
millions of
people off.
subscribers based off that line of questioning, and I've ruined everything.
Yeah, well, I guess that's the last episode ever, guys. Thank you for tuning into the one up.
Hey,
For real.
we sync it now.
Yeah, I totally forgot what I was asking. You derailed my whole shit.
wow.
And
Putting
lighter
the complete putting the blame on somebody else.
I'll take that out. I think Tony should remember what you're gonna say. You know, he's a big boy. You know, but
there we go.
what's this
I like-
lighter note? I want to be happier.
Let's move in happiness.
That's
Concerts,
that's
right?
not to downplay the gravity of what occurred.
Absolutely.
Super
What kind
fucked
of
up.
what's on your shirt, Tony?
Just a Boba
Looks
Fett.
like a whale.
I
Boba
like
Fett.
it. Ah, Boba.
Can you like kind of pop your?
There
Oh, okay.
we go.
Oh,
Nice.
is that a bloodied Boba Fett?
Ooh,
Man went through hell.
Damn.
the maroon. I love the maroon.
Who hasn't watched The Mandalorian? That's my third. Right?
I have not.
I'm all
What the
caught up, dude.
fuck? You didn't watch Mandalorian?
Yeah, I watched the last episode, and that's it. I watched like the 5 minutes of the last episode, and I saw
Why?
the I saw the leak. Yeah,
What
I saw the leak.
fuck?
Yeah, I saw
This
the
is
leak.
a new segment in this one
That's-
right now.
that
All
should've
right,
been- that
let's
should've
move
been-
on. Let's skip the judging though portion of this.
All right.
All right, let's just move on.
So my
On
lighter
the
topic,
lighter
right,
note.